When you think of aviation pioneers, names like Charles Lindbergh, the Wright brothers, or even Sully Sullenberger probably jump right into your head. And when it comes to female pilots, most people can only name one, Amelia Earhart. But back in 1929, 20 daredevil women took off from Santa Monica, flying 2,800 miles across the country in a fragile aircraft held together by little more than glue and courage. And today I am joined by a power duo who are bringing this wild, true chapter of history to life in their new novel, Where the Sky Begins. New York Times bestselling author Cindy Dees, also a former U.S. Air Force pilot. Thank you for your service. And bestselling historical fiction author Mary Wine. Ladies, welcome to the Fox Local Book Club.
Thank you.
Good morning.
So, Cindy, let's start with you. Most of us know Amelia Earhart, but Where the Sky Begins introduces us to a whole crew of incredible women led by the colorful Florence Pancho Barnes. Who was she, and why did this story need to be told?
So Pancho Barnes was the granddaughter of one of the first balloonists in the world, Thaddeus Lowe, who flew in the U.S. Civil War. And he encouraged her to become a pilot. And he was an inventor and invented ice machines. So thank you to Thaddeus Lowe for that. And all of us need them right about now. But he encouraged her love of aviation, and she inherited vast wealth from her grandfather and used that to become a pilot. Because of her wealth and her privilege, she had a huge, loud, bold, courageous personality that she brought to flying. And it made her the obvious lead character of our book because she was so much bigger than life.
Oh, how fun
and
to
it was
write
Mary's
her.
idea to write this, so I'm going to let her talk about why we had to write it.
Okay, so why?
You know, I was walking through an area museum and I found a newspaper article from 1929, and the headline read, "Women are naturally dependent on men and therefore should not be in the cockpit." And I thought, boy, I've got to learn about this. What is this all about? And it was about this amazing race where women, for the first time, got to be the pilots in this race to Cleveland. It was huge. We all know flew. When she went on her historic flight with Lindbergh, she didn't get to fly. She called herself a sack of potatoes in the plane.
So yeah.
This was the time when they got behind the engines, so to speak.
Yeah.
Got to mention, ladies, too, my daughter's a commercial pilot, so there are a lot more women flying, yes, today. So it turns into this white-knuckle thriller, though, pretty quickly. When the women were allowed to fly, eventually, what were they up against?
They were up against sabotage. Many people did not want women flying airplanes. And in fact, at the time this race happened, many people were opposed to women even driving cars. And it was really revolutionary that they did this. They then flew the race in airplanes made of balsa wood and pine that are covered with cotton that would be about the thickness of your pillowcase. And then it was painted with a very flammable glue to make it rigid and waterproof, but it also made it a death trap because it made it incredibly flammable. They had 4 total engine instruments in the airplane. They knew how fast they were going, and they knew how high they were off the ground, starting at about 500 feet above the ground. And that was about it. They flew with road maps and stopwatches, and they got lost. They would follow railroads and hope they were going in the right direction. They would land in farmers' fields to ask the farmers where they were. And they used those tools to navigate 2,800 miles in 9 days. Then they had people attempting to damage their airplanes, attempting to kill them, attempting to stop the race. There were politicians involved. There were people coming at them from all directions trying to stop the race.
My goodness, ladies, we have to go, but I want you to tell my viewers where they can follow you, because both of you have quite adventurous lives as well, and this sounds like a wonderful adventure to read. So where can people find the book, and where can they follow you all?
MaryWineBooks.com.
And I'm at CindyDees.com.
Where the Sky Begins. Cindy Dees and Mary Wine, thank you both for joining us on the Fox Local Book Club.